Picture two men, same age 62, same city, same starting salary back in 1987. Man A just retired, his house is paid off, he travels twice a year, he doesn't check his investment account every morning because, honestly, he doesn't need to. His net worth is $1.4 million, and he sleeps just fine at night. Man B also just retired, bigger house, nicer car, sitting in the driveway, every vacation posted online for everyone to see, and now he's got $94,000 in savings, balances on 3 credit cards, and a very real fear that he's going to outlive his money. Same starting point, 40 years, 2 completely different endings. Now here's the number that should really make you stop and think. According to the Employee Benefit Research Institute, nearly 40% of American retirees run out of money within the first 15 years of retirement. Not because they didn't make enough money, but because of how they spent it, and more importantly, because of what they were trying to prove with that spending. This isn't about income, it's not about luck, and it's definitely not about having some fancy financial advisor with a corner office. It's about mindset. A quiet, invisible, unbelievably powerful mindset that wealthy retirees tend to share. And almost nobody talks about it because the people who live this way usually have zero interest in showing it off. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what that mindset is, how it actually works in real life, and what you can start doing this week to build it into your own life. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why the retirees who stay wealthy for decades almost never look rich on the outside. And honestly, that's the entire point. If you're somewhere between 55 and 70, whether you're already retired or getting close, this video was made for you. Before we go further, let me address what you might be thinking. I've heard this before. Spend less, save more. I know. No, that's not what this is. This isn't about frugality. It's not a lecture on clipping coupons or skipping lattes. Some of the wealthiest retirees I've researched spend generously on the right things in the right ways for the right reasons. The difference isn't the amount they spend, it's what drives the spending. And once you see that distinction, you can't unsee it. Here's what we're going to cover. The core mechanism behind stealth wealth, the one invisible force that separates retirees who thrive from those who struggle. 3 specific patterns you can identify in your own life right now. A side-by-side comparison that will make the abstract very concrete. And a short checklist you can apply this week. Let's get into it. Here's the core mechanism behind all of this. I call it the dual cost trap. Every single purchase you make comes with 2 prices. The first one is obvious, the price tag. The second one is invisible, and that's the one that destroys retirements. That second price is the ongoing cost of maintaining an identity. Think about it like this. When someone buys a luxury car at 63, they're not just buying transportation anymore. They're buying a statement about who they are. And once that statement is made, there's pressure to keep maintaining it. The car has to be replaced in 4 years because driving a 10-year-old luxury sedan sends a completely different message than driving a brand new one. Then the house has to match the car, the vacations have to match the house. The clothes, the restaurants, the country club membership, everything starts escalating to protect the identity that person has built around themselves. Behavioral economists actually have a name for this. It's called the ratchet effect. It's the tendency for lifestyle standards to move upward very easily, but become incredibly hard to bring back down. Your brain treats a lifestyle downgrade as a loss. And according to Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman and his research on loss aversion, losses tend to feel about twice as painful as equivalent gains feel good. In plain English, once you build a lifestyle around looking wealthy, cutting back starts to feel painful even if you never truly had the financial foundation to support that lifestyle in the first place. Now, here's the fascinating part about retirees who stay wealthy for decades. They never built that second price into their lives. Not because they couldn't afford it, but because they made a conscious decision often decades earlier not to tie their identity to their possessions. That's what stealth wealth really is. It's not hiding money. It's not being cheap. It's separating your self-worth from visible status symbols. Dear friend, we're getting really close to hitting 1,000 subscribers. And honestly, that makes me really happy. Our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if this video is helping you in any way, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Help us hit that goal and become part of this community. Really appreciate it. Let me make this real. With 2 patterns I've seen over and over again in retirement research. Robert retires at 63 with $800,000 in his 401k, which, if you're unfamiliar with it, is a tax-advantaged retirement savings account. He worked hard his entire life, and now he feels like he deserves to enjoy the money. So during the first year of retirement, he upgrades the car $62,000. He remodels the kitchen another $40,000. Then he takes 2 international vacations, $18,000 more. By the end of that first year, his annual withdrawal rate, meaning the percentage he's pulling from his savings every year, reaches 14%. Now, compare that to what financial planners usually consider sustainable for a 30-year retirement, about 4%. Robert is withdrawing money at roughly 3.5 times the safe rate. At that pace, his retirement savings are gone in 11 years, which means he'll be 74 years old with no savings left and Social Security as his only source of income. Now, let's look at Daniel. Daniel retires the exact same year with $820,000, almost identical to Robert. But Daniel drives a 5-year-old Toyota Camry. His kitchen works perfectly fine. It's just not designed to impress strangers online. He takes 1 international trip every 2 years and fills the gaps with road trips closer to home. His withdrawal rate? 3.8%. At 63, Daniel doesn't look as successful as Robert. But at 78, Daniel has $940,000. His portfolio actually kept growing while he was withdrawing from it because he invested the difference and kept his withdrawal rate below the long-term growth rate of his investments. Meanwhile, Robert is looking for part-time work. Same starting point, same retirement year. The difference wasn't income. It was that invisible second price, the cost of maintaining an identity, that Robert kept paying and Daniel never signed up for in the first place. Now, you might be thinking, that's fine for Daniel, but I've spent 40 years working hard. Am I not allowed to enjoy my money? Absolutely. That's the wrong question, though. The right question is, what does enjoying my money actually mean to you separate from what it signals to other people? Research consistently shows that experiential spending, travel, time with family, learning new skills produces significantly more lasting satisfaction than material purchases. Not because experiences are cheaper, but because they don't require maintenance. You can't feel pressure to upgrade a memory of hiking the Grand Canyon the way you feel pressure to upgrade a BMW. Stealth, wealth, retirees spend. They just spend on things that don't spend back. Pattern number 1, the replacement test. Stealth wealth retirees apply what I call the replacement test before every major purchase. The question is simple. If this broke or disappeared tomorrow, would I replace it? If the answer is no, if the honest answer is I'd be a little relieved, then the purchase is identity spending, not value spending. It's maintaining an image, not serving a need or a genuine desire. Start applying this test to what you already own. Most people discover they're surrounded by things they wouldn't replace. That's money locked inside objects that aren't delivering any real return, financial or emotional. Pattern number 2, the internal comparison rule. Here's something that separates the long-term wealthy from everyone else. They don't compete externally. They don't compare themselves to their neighbor's car, their colleague's vacation, or whatever signals of success their social circle happens to display this year. Instead, they compete internally. The only comparison that matters is, am I better positioned financially than I was last year? Is my net worth the difference between what I own and what I owe growing? Net worth, not income, not appearance, not what anyone else thinks. Your net worth is your real number. Everything else is theater. The practical application. Stop calculating what you spend each month. Start calculating your net worth quarterly. That single habit shift changes everything. Pattern number 3, the simple environment principle. Stealth wealth retirees consistently maintain environments, homes, wardrobes, vehicles that are below what they could theoretically afford. Not drastically, not uncomfortably, just not maximized. Why? Because environments create maintenance pressure. A larger house requires more upkeep, more furniture, more heating and cooling. A luxury vehicle requires premium insurance, premium fuel, premium service. Every upgrade in environment creates an ongoing cost commitment that compounds over decades. The rule: optimize for function and comfort, not for impression. The retirement years where you feel most financially free are almost never the ones with the biggest house. They're the ones with the lowest fixed costs. Here's a pattern you see playing out in retirement communities all across America over and over again. James is 68 years old. He drives a modest sedan. His house is a 3-bedroom ranch. Nice place, comfortable, but nothing flashy. He plays golf twice a week at a public course. And every other year, he takes a trip to Europe. Most of his neighbors assume he's doing okay financially, but not wealthy. Now let's look at his neighbor, Phil. Phil has a 4-car garage, a vacation home in Florida, and a boat. Phil talks about his investments constantly. His wife brings up the renovation budget every chance she gets. On the surface, Phil looks rich. But here's the reality. James's net worth is $2.1 million. His withdrawal rate is 3.4%. And his financial anxiety? Basically zero. Phil's net worth is $380,000. The vacation house still carries a big mortgage. The boat costs $14,000 a year just to maintain. And Phil hasn't actually sat down and looked at his complete financial picture in over 2 years because deep down, part of him doesn't want to know. Phil looks wealthier. James actually is wealthier. And 15 years from now, when Phil is forced to sell the vacation home just to cover living expenses, James will still be traveling through Europe. And he'll probably be the one quietly picking up the dinner check without ever mentioning it. That's stealth wealth. Not hiding. Just not performing. Here's why this feels hard, even when you understand it logically. We are wired for social signaling. Every human culture in recorded history has developed visible markers of status. This isn't a personal flaw, it's evolutionary. For most of human history, social status meant access to resources, protection, and opportunity. The impulse to signal your position is deeply embedded. Add to that 40 years of a working identity. For 4 decades, you were your job title, your income, your career trajectory. Retirement removes that identity overnight, and for many men, the instinct is to replace it with something visible, something that says, I'm still successful, I still matter. That's completely understandable, and it's exactly the mechanism that quietly drains retirement accounts. The reframe. Your retirement isn't the end of your productive identity. It's the first time in your adult life where your identity gets to be entirely yours. Not your employer's, not your industry's, not your neighbor's. That's not a loss. That's the reward. Here's what to do this week. Concrete, specific, no theory. Step 1, calculate your actual net worth. Not your income, not your account balance. Your net worth, everything you own minus everything you owe. If you haven't done this recently, the number may surprise you. It needs to be your North Star going forward. Step 2, identify your 3 largest monthly fixed costs, mortgage or rent, vehicle payments, insurance premiums. Ask honestly, are these sized for function or for appearance? If appearance is driving any of them, that's your first target. Step 3, apply the replacement test to the last 5 major purchases you made. Would you replace each one if it disappeared? The results will tell you a great deal about where your spending is coming from. Step 4, set a quarterly net worth review date. Put it in your calendar right now. The single most powerful financial habit for retirement isn't a budget, it's tracking the real number. Step 5, have one honest conversation with yourself or with your spouse about what a good retirement actually looks like, separate from what it looks like to other people. Write down 3 to 5 things that would genuinely make you feel financially and personally free. Not impressive, free. Those 5 things are your portfolio. Optimize for them. Let everything else shrink. This isn't really a story about 2 men with different income. It's a story about 2 completely different relationships with money and with identity itself. One mindset says, I am what I appear to be. The other says, I am what I actually own. And here's what makes the stealth wealth mindset so difficult to adopt. Our culture rewards performance. We celebrate what's visible. We respect what looks impressive. The guy with the expensive car gets a different kind of attention than the guy with the paid-off house. We all know that. And that pull is real. But here's what decades of retirement research make painfully clear. The retirees who maintain financial freedom for decades, the ones still traveling at 75, helping their grandkids, sleeping peacefully without financial stress, are almost never the people who look the most successful at 63. They're the people who quietly, consistently chose the real number over the visible number. You spent 40 years building something. The question now is whether you're going to protect it or perform with it. That choice is completely yours. And it starts this week. Also, we've got a goal this month. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. And We're really close. So if this video gave you a new way to think about retirement and money, hit subscribe, help us reach that goal, and become part of this community.